Over the last couple of years, after the last 5-6 years, we've seen a number of incidents where governments in particular have deliberately pursued starvation crimes on a very large scale and prevented access and got the compliance of international organizations and governments in doing this. So there are a number of cases we could mention: northeastern Nigeria, which was essentially under a blackout, much of Yemen, but I think the most egregious case is Tigray in northern Ethiopia. And Kimberly mentioned the Famine Review Committee of the IPC, the Integrated Phase Classification Food Security System. Their experts went there in June of 2021, and they said without an end to the war and without a massive aid, they were certain there would be famine within 3 months. And after that, the Ethiopian government tightened the siege, prevented aid from going in, the war intensified, and they prevented the UN from having any access to gather any data. And because the data were not gathered, there was no famine declaration. And we now know, with a relative degree of certainty, that somewhere between 300,000 and 600,000 people, most of them children, perished of hunger in Tigray. And if that's not a famine, the word really has no meaning. And if that wasn't bad enough, what I find particularly shocking is that starvation was actually an effective tool. It brought the Tigrayans to their knees, forced them to surrender. And whatever you think about the politics of the conflict, and of course there are arguments to be made on both sides, the fact that you can force a group to abandon its political objectives and surrender by starving it at that scale is something we have not seen since the Biafran War in the late 1960s. And so the world has not marshaled that level of outrage to call out to stop these crimes.